Hey guys, so today bringing you another video. Welcome back to Challenger Spectates. Today we are watching Kindred. The reason for watching Kindred, by the way, is I just finished a recording session, needed a second video for today, and I had a really good Kindred earlier today, and it kind of put Kindred on my mind. I looked when my last Kindred video was uploaded, and apparently it was February 2022. I find that hard to believe, so if there's another one, forgive me, but let's watch Kindred, because Kindred, well, how do I say? A theme that you're going to see very soon in the YouTube videos, even in my games. The way of the game at the moment seems that it is completely become late game supreme again. All of my games today were about late game champions taking over eventually. And it was just the way of it, you know, Cogmores, Kindreds, all late game. So I wanted just to show Kindred specifically of how you're supposed to play it. Because one of the big things I definitely see people not do on Kindreds is focus marks. People really underestimate how much that is actually her strength. So just to go over her passive, obviously that's when you mark someone on the enemy team, but also, you know, the neutral, one of the scuttles will have a mark on it, and then the marks will be in the enemy territory, and then eventually it'll be like Baron or something that has the mark. So the marks are gaining a mark. When you get a mark of killing the target that has one, after 4 marks, Kindred gains 75 attack range, and then after that, so the first power spike is 4, then every 3 you get more attack range, and then marks also empower all of her abilities. So it's where like Kindred is a very short range AD carry, but if in late game you get to 12 marks, her attack range is actually not that bad, and her damage output is definitely skewed to late game scaling. So that's one of the biggest things I'd always say to people that want to play Kindred. If you are new to her or you want to pick her up, do not underestimate the marks. I've played Kindred, and I will say there are games that you obviously can do amazing with marks, and you're like, oh my god, I got 7 marks by 15 minutes, amazing. When the opposite is true, it feels terrible on this champion. So like if you're having a rough game and nothing is going your way, it does feel very rough when you're, you know, 15 minutes into the game and you haven't maybe even got to 4 marks. It's rough. So the one thing I would say with Kindred as well, so at the beginning of the game, one of the scuttle crabs will have a Kindred mark. It's a little bit of luck of, you know, she's clearing from red to blue on red side. She's hoping, I can nearly guarantee, she's hoping that this one spawns with the mark. The thing that we obviously can tell by being on this, you know, the replay view, the Vi is also clearing in this direction. So the Vi, if the bottom scuttle is the one with the mark, the Vi will be looking to try and deny that from the Kindred. And I can, I'd be nearly confident to say if this one isn't the one that spawns with it, the Vi might kill this one, but the Kindred should hightail it over to the other side of the map. So the Vi's pinging the top one, that's where she's going. I don't think it's given away which one has it yet. Oh, it has. It's the other one. So on the mini-map, you can't see it because the Vi ping. See that swirl on the mini-map? That indicates it's Kindred's mark. So unfortunately, in the 50-50, the Kindred did not luck out. So, and the Vi, I presume, is going straight there to deny what usually is the easiest first mark of the game. So you can see Kindred's making her way there now. It's going to be too late, in theory. Oh, maybe not. They were actually waiting for her in the bush. I'd actually say that was a misplay by the enemy team. So Kindred's damage, they get a kill with the Aurelion, and now they should be able to fight maybe together. Kindred's got decent mobility, not enough to get away, and Vi might actually end up with a double kill. Rakan's in the area. Good roam by Rakan, and they will actually turn that around. This, though... Oh, my things... There we go. This, I think, is dead. We haven't seen it. But the fact on the minimap it's disappeared would indicate to me the Vi actually did kill this first. So never mind, it's not a mistake. I thought she didn't kill this and they were waiting in the bush. I think Vi did actually kill that. So it's actually not that bad at all. But... you know, yes, she didn't get the scuttle mark, but in timing-wise, she's got her first mark before 5 minutes. So that's kind of the tempo that you'd like. Obviously, the one thing with Kindred is what I would recommend. When you're in the hunt of, like, right, I'm going to try and look for a mark and you're going to go for a gank on somebody, I would say don't always just have the mark on that person 24/7 straight away, because the gank might not be good. And, you know, you could mark that Rumble, it's stuck on Rumble, but then you go bot lane and get a double kill or get one of them. sometimes I'd say it's better to hold it until you know who you're going to go for. You can see next to Talia's face, it's on... next to Kindred's face, it's on a Talia right now. So that's who the mark's on. And sometimes you can use it as a bait. So let's just say the enemy bot lane, which they are, because it's a weird, cheesy Caitlyn support. That's a very high poke lane that there's not a lot of Xayah and Rakan will be able to do about it. It's just too high range free poke for the enemy team. If the... Oh, she got baited by the low health Rumble. If you could literally have Kindred could be jungle farming and then mark one of these two, I can nearly guarantee it'll make them run away. Because they're thinking, oh god, Kindred's on the way, and it will just make people run. It's another like good method just to help your laners have a bit of like reprieve from, you know, intensely getting poked out. So far, again, challenge spectate, this game is not going that well for Kindred. So this is a good thing to just to say, is when it comes to late game champions, and I think a lot of people need to learn this lesson, you don't have to have the best early game. It helps. Like if you're a late game champ that has a good early game, oh my god, you're probably just going to win for free, right? Meanwhile, Vi, by the way, is straight on that. It's going to be a 50-50 potential smite of who's going to get it, and Kindred is bullying the Vi away, and the Kindred got it, so that's another mark. So again, counter jungling is how you get marks. She's going to go all in for it, and she actually does get a kill. You can see the mark itself, the mark itself was on a Caitlyn, and she will actually get out. Good, obviously, level up timer to level up that, because otherwise she was dead. Maybe that's why she went for that tower dive, because she knew, hey, XP wise, if I kill this Vi, I'll get ult, and then I can survive the ult with my ult. So really high confidence play for, let's be honest, at that time, the Vi was 2 kills, 1 death. The Kindred 0-2. So have that confidence of still, no, I'm going for my mark. And no, actually, I'm going to try and kill you under tower, and did. It does show incredible confidence. Now, this player, some people will recognize this player. They might be a pro player. I believe they might be or have been. But this is a top 3 challenger player on the US consistently. So, obviously, a very good player, both mechanically and decision-making wise. Now here, again, another swirly mark. I'm surprised the Kindred's not heading there straight away. That does surprise me a little bit. Maybe she thinks she's already dead. But you can see here, Akali's going over. The swirl would disappear with Akali getting vision of the middle here, because otherwise it would be dead, because the enemy team would have vision. So it's alive. So Kindred is now heading there. Maybe she thought the Vi would have killed it straight away, but she did not. And there we go. So that is going to be about to be 3 marks in 8 minutes. Obviously, your first upgrade of range is at 4. And by the way, at 4, she gains 75 attack range, and then every 3 after that, she gains 25. But as you can see, her abilities have already gained in power by having 3 marks. 15% attack speed for Dance of Arrows, 3% current health damage of Will Frenzy, and 2% missing health damage on Mounting Dread. So she's already, again, this is where the late game scaling aspect of Kindred comes in. The more marks, the stronger she gets, on top of items as well. And obviously she's an AD carry. A lot of AD carries are strong late anyway. So now going to reset. First item purchase, I'd imagine, is going to happen. There it is, Kraken Slayer. And going to head over to hopefully do some blue side clearing. I wouldn't be shocked in some ways if some of this has been stolen. You can see the Vi was there. We have got vision here, and there. So maybe the Vi hasn't, because we would have seen it. So unfortunately, the Vi kills the race as that was becoming Kindred's mark. So that is a mark denied. If, by the way, you're jungling against a Kindred, you should be prioritizing your own jungle to not let her counter-steal it. So big potential play happening for the enemy team. They're going for it without really thinking where the Aurelion and the Kindred were. Nice play there by Xayah. Vi goes for the ult, I'm guessing in kind of a panic, like, oh, I may as well go for this. And the annoying thing, this is what I was talking about, right, is you shouldn't always just have a mark active. Right now, Kindred's mark is active on the Rumble, who's the other side of the map. So it would have been better if knowing, you know, holding it of who you're selecting, when you're making your way down here, selecting somebody, and then you should be able to get the free mark from getting the kill. But because it's on Rumble, you know, it was pre-selected already on Rumble, nothing happens. So the Akali obviously is struggling in top lane. The Rumble's actually doing quite a smart build as well. He's normally dividing your build is not actually a good idea because a lot of item strength is completing the item, but that's a really powerful early game item. It's just very good. You know, it's combat up to 6% extra damage and all that stuff. His ability varies health, all good stuff for Rumble. And then this, he's getting a spell immune, which is very good, especially against like blocking, let's say, Akali's E. But it's magic resistant ability power, so that's actually a really smart early game for a Rumble to kind of just beat an Akali. Honestly, in some ways, Akali should probably have done the same. All right, so another swirly, but you can see here, again, stuff that we're not supposed to see. The Vi was already on it. And the Krabby, or the Scuttle Crab, so Vi had clearly killed 2 of them. The reason, just to make it very clear, why would you not kill all 3? They're not the most important thing in the world, but the thing you want to do is deny 5 and 6. So from Scuttle Crabs 1 to 4, it's just a damage buff to towers. It's nothing extra, it's nothing special. Hello. But when you get 5 Scuttle thingies, or Void Grubbies, whatever you want to call them, when you get 5, it starts to spawn Void Mites that help you attack towers. And when you get all 6, it spawns double the amount of Void Mites. So the most important thing, realistically, is just denying 5. If you know it's risky, and you know that clearly was risky for the Vi to be like, oh god, Kindred could show up at any moment, it's just a smart thing to do. So Vi is around the corner. Kindred, look at that spacing, really nice. Again, Vi obviously is the target now. She's been swapping her target a lot, by the way. So it's now on Vi. So she didn't get a mark. And she's still on 3. So the next... She might swap it here, by the way, if it's available. You can't swap it all the time. Every minute or 2, you're allowed to swap it. And should be an easy kill. Bonk. Very nice. Unstoppable. So, as I mentioned earlier, double kill. He wasn't the best early game. At one stage, this Kindred was 0-2. That's a pretty bad start to the game. She is now 6-2-3, being involved in 9 of the 10 kills that her team has. So it's where, like, I implore people, 1, late game is a very good thing in solo queue right now, but 2, if you're playing a late game champion, don't give up. Like, it's the worst thing you can do mentally in a league game, to me, is if you're playing a late game champion and you give up. It's historically, I've always laughed about it. Historically, I've always seen Nasus mains with weak mentals. It makes no sense. If you're a Nasus main, you should have a titanium, insanely, like, you know, like adamantium strong mental, because you're Nasus. You're a hyper scaling bruiser. Like, if it's same as like Viger, right? So the fact that if they give up having a bad early game, it makes no sense. So right now she has no active mark. Oh, but she did hit 4 somehow. I might have missed one. So right now she won't get a mark for that, but she's hit 4. She's saving the Akali. She would have died, I think. So yes, so with hitting 4 marks, you can see it down there. She has now just gained 75 range. And obviously, again, 5% attack speed per stack for Dance of Arrows, etc., etc. So she's gaining all the advantages still, but she has the big one for Kindred, which is range. Where she kind of, what I would say, she starts to feel a bit more like an actual AD carry when she gets 4 stacks. Because where her range is pathetically low initially. I wonder if we can see it. Yeah, so her range was 500 before she got 4 stacks, and she's now at 575. For example, we can say the Xayah, her range is... Where did it go? I literally just had it. Oh, Xayah's range is 525. So Kindred has 50 range above a Xayah, who's actually an AD carry. So it just puts perspective view. She went from 500, which is low, to now 575, which is pretty decent. I wouldn't be surprised. I'm going to see what both... Again, hilariously, because it's stupid Caitlyn support, we get to see what both of them are. So Ashe is 600. So Ashe has pretty high, obviously, attack range. But obviously Kindred can get to that level per every 3 marks from now on. Rumble, unfortunately for him, gets caught out looking for an all-in. I would really have not have flashed then. I honestly do not know why you would have flashed. So ends up dead. I would not overstay if I was her. And then, by the way, Caitlyn's attack range is 650. But obviously, Caitlyn, historically, is one of the highest natural attack ranges in the game. But Kindred, again, just to make it very clear, who's not known for that incredible high range, she can get to 650. Every 3 stacks from now on, she gains an extra 25. So she'll go 600 next, then 625, then 650. So, yeah, and that's where, again, it's the late gameness of a Kindred. It takes ages to get there, and, you know, you have to play well to get the marks, but you can. So collect a second item. Now, some people I do know would be able to, like, really? Again, I don't know. I'm not going to pretend I know the ins and outs of everything. I'm not an AD carry player. Like, Collector is by nature just quite... Look at that damage, by the way. She killed that Caitlyn. Collector is, dare I say, not the healthiest of items. You know, an Execute where, you know, sometimes it's your last... But get the mark. Did she get that mark? She did get the mark. I think that Rumble ult genuinely looked like he was trying to deny the mark from Kindred, which was a bit extreme. But yeah, she got it. She's at 5 now. But yeah, Collector, I just would say the reason for it, it gives a lot of stats that AD carries like. If you're having a good snowbally game, it can secure kills that you might have just missed out. And that's the point, is where your last auto attack on somebody might not have just got a kill. Well, Collector means you get it. That's quite a big difference. So there is currently a 3-level gap in the jungle, and that is another thing that Kindred is incredibly good at doing, is she's good at snowballing. Even though she's a late-game hyper carry, she can just go for it, and then it's really hard to stop her, because ultimately, her ultimate is a really good tool of, oh, the Vi is going to try and stop me from snowballing by fighting me. Well, I've got an ultimate, like right here. I've got an ultimate that stops me dying to her. And plus, you can see the damage output. It's not even close between them. And there's the ultimate to help survive. It gives hopefully your team a bit of time to get here, which is exactly what it did. And voila. She's a really good snowballing champion, but also she's actually quite a good champion to stop people killing her. Kind of anti-snowball, if you will. She's an interesting champion. For those that say, obviously, I'm playing a lot more jungle nowadays, would I play Kindred? Here's the thing. Maybe. But for some reason, I've just never quite got on with this champion. I don't know why. I just never have quite got on with her. And I think fundamentally, Kindred is a jungler. I don't, you know, I'm not saying she's an AD carry bot lane. She's a jungler. But I think, personally, for me, it has something to do that in my head, I'm like, nah, she's an AD carry, and that does feels weird in the jungle to me. You know, I used to love playing Graves AD carry, and when he got swapped to jungle, I've never fully gotten on with him in the jungle, you know? Let me know if you guys have anything like that as well. Like, some people, and again, it's weird. It's only really AD carries that I'm a bit like that. Like, mage junglers I quite enjoy. Like, Brand, Karthus. I like mage junglers. I just don't know why I don't like AD carry junglers. I have no idea why. It's just a gut feeling. So you can see the mark, the swirl is actually at wolves right now. But obviously that is, you know, the deeper than where the mark is, more in the enemy territory. What the heck? The riskier, obviously, it is for Kindred to try and secure it. So they do end up escaping. That's a lot of the enemy team trying to stop that from happening. That was a blue steal, or blue attempt steal. I think it didn't actually go through. Vi got it. Just reminding everyone, after 20 minutes from Baron spawns, obviously buffs give it to your whole team. Just reminding, in this season of League, buffs are very valuable to steal. Because, again, where before you'd just be stealing it to one person, or maybe to 2, the jungler and the laner, now you're stealing it actively from the entire enemy team. And really nice play there. That was the mark, by the way, if you're wondering why the hell did Kindred go there, and also why was Rumble doing it. Rumble was doing it to deny a mark. Kindred was going there to get the mark. So she's going to just DPS the tower down. She's actually not going in it. I actually don't know if there's technically a benefit to going in it, because that did seem to do a lot of damage. I always thought maybe it does more damage, but maybe it doesn't. If anyone knows, let me know in the comments below. Oh, she didn't deny it. So she's now gone back and got Wit's End. Probably a Wit's End, by the way, because they do have a Tillia and a Rumble. If it was like a Tillia, like with this comp, with 2 AD carries bot lane, a Vi jungle, if it was Tillia mid, but like, you know, Renekton top, I don't know if she would have gone Wit's End next, because, you know, it's a magic resist item for 1 magic person. Maybe it's because of 2. Again, I would even say I would question the item a bit it's a good item, but I just don't know if she needs it. But at this point, you know, if you just look at the difference, she's 3.5 items, not including boots. Vi is 1.5 items. So, mate, at this point, you know, buying Wit's End, it doesn't even matter. Like, she's just so far ahead, it's going to give her crazy damage. It's irrelevant, to be honest. She can practically build anything. Why would Talia go forward there? Oh, that gave Kindred a mark because she got an assist, so she's now on 6. She needs 1 more to get her... Oh, she just survived. Oh, that Rakan just survived. The Kindred needs 1 more mark to then get to 7, which would then give her, obviously, the next range increase. But at this rate, her 30% attack speed of Dancer Arrows, 6% current health damage from Wolf's Frenzy, and 3% missing health damage of Mounting Dread. So, and that's, by the way, I think additional. Yeah, it's additional to what the abilities already do. So, yeah. So they're going for a Baron. Why not? With having a Kindred strong and a Xayah strong, and, you know, you get to do it pretty damn quick. Kindred would love an assist on that Rumble because it would give her the mark, but alas, not to be. So yeah, very nice. Next item with these, I wouldn't be surprised if it's Infinity Edge. That really will bring up your damage to the high level. Obviously, again, the swirl on the minimap is that Wolves, Kindred... There's a time and a place that you kind of go for it, and with that is a surrender vote. So, again, this hopefully just shows people, one, you know, how to play Kindred a bit, but also the bigger thing for me is the early game did not go very good. That's okay. When you know you're playing a late game crazy champion, don't give up, and that's the biggest thing for me. I saw it even today in some of my games of people giving up. If you're playing a late game comp, like I kind of get it. If you're playing a Lucian or a Draven and the early game goes bad, or an Ekton, you're like, oh well, or Pantheon, like you're like, well, my point in the game was supposed to be now and I've done bad. Well, GG. I kind of get it then. But if you're playing late game, don't give up. But anyway, that's going to be it. If you guys did enjoy it, do throw a like on it. Hopefully you all have a good Easter, whatever you may celebrate, or you're just like me and you enjoy the chocolate. Have a good one. Thank you guys so much. Like, comment, subscribe. See you guys next time. Peace.
Call down the reckoning to bring back hope and peace. Restore our glory to live forever. Bring down the dark regime. I know how to unleash eternal